Strikers define football. They win matches, they decide titles, and they write history. Right now the Premier League has 3 fascinating number 9s, players who might look similar on paper but are completely different in style. Let's start off with Haaland. When you talk about goals, there is simply no comparison. Haaland has been a machine since day 1 in the Premier League, breaking the single season scoring record and averaging well over a goal contribution per game. He doesn't need to be flashy, in fact sometimes he looks invisible for 20 minutes, but give him one chance inside the box and it's game over. The key to Haaland is efficiency. His conversion rate is among the highest in Europe and his movement is brutally effective. He thrives when City control possession and feed him with through balls or cutbacks. But, and this is important, if you cut the supply line, you can limit his influence. We've seen games where he only touched the ball a few times because he's not involved in the build-up. So with Haaland you get the ultimate weapon, guaranteed goals but in a very specific role. He's not there to create, not there to press like a maniac, he's there to finish, and in City's system that is often all they need. Now, Manchester City really haven't had the easy start on the season, and a part of that comes down to who's missing. Rodri, the midfielder who controls the tempo and links everything together, has been injured since the opening game. He's expected to be back in the mid-September, but without him City lose a lot of stability in midfield, and when the midfield doesn't flow, Haaland naturally gets fewer chances. On top of that, Kevin De Bruyne, the man who created so many of Haaland's goals in the past, is no longer in the squad. His vision and passing were a huge part of City's attack, and that partnership is gone. City have brought in new players like Gianni Rangers, who actually scored an assist in the first game against Wolves, but it takes time to rebuild chemistry. And the injuries doesn't stop there. The young talent Ryan Cherki is out for around 2 months with a thigh problem. Players like Phil Foden, Omar Mamouche and Mateo Kovacic has also had knocks or fitness issues. That means Pep Guardiola has had to constantly rotate and the team hasn't looked fully settled. So yes, Haaland is still scoring, but without Rodri's control and Kevin De Bruyne's creativity, the service to him isn't as sharp or as frequent as it used to be. That's why City can look unstoppable one week like they did against Wolves, and the next one they strangely just flatten out like they did against Tottenham or Brighton. City started out the season like they usually do. They came out swinging a big 4-0 win against Wolves away. Haaland scored twice and the new Rangers was excellent. They clicked right away. It was smooth football, smart finishing, and the team looked in sync. But then things got more difficult. Next was Tottenham at home and City looked less fluid. Tottenham pressed hard, cut off City's passing options, and Haaland barely got the ball. City lost 2-0. Then they played Brighton away and again were disappointing. Haaland scored first, but City couldn't keep control. Guardiola even said afterwards that they forgot to play.
We should again, we forgot to play.
If we look ahead of Manchester City, they have big games upcoming. First, Manchester United at home, a big derby game. Then Arsenal away, a real challenge, and Burnley in the end. These games are really gonna test City if they can find their rhythm back and also if Haaland can benefit from the team. Now let's shift focus to AlexanderIsak. He's a different type of striker compared to Haaland. Isak plays with more flair and movement. He drifts wide, drops into pockets of space, links up with midfielders and wingers, and uses his technique and skill to create chances for himself and others. He's not just a finisher, he's a creator too. In season 24-25 in the Premier League, he scored 23 goals in 34 games and added assists too. His goal involvement was about 0.94 per 90 minutes, meaning he was part of almost 1 goal per game. He took around 2.5 shots per game, with around 60% on target. Liverpool broke the British transfer record of signing him for £120 million from Newcastle on September 1st, but the deal came late, meaning Isak missed most of the preseason and time with the squad, so he's still building match sharpness and fitness. He had a couple of minutes with Sweden. Liverpool's season started strong. They put in 8 goals past opponents in their first 3 league matches. The club has invested heavily, bringing in Isak, Wirtz, Gyökeres, Frimpong and Gyokeres and several others. That gives Arne Slot a selection dilemma. Where do you fit Isak in alongside Salah, Gakpo and Gyökeres? Isak's role is different. He's a creator as well as a finisher, moving between lines and creating space. For Liverpool to get the best from him, they must adapt their attacking build-up to give him the ball in those pockets. At the same time, Liverpool said goodbye to some key players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, and how is that gonna affect the team? Looking ahead, Isak might debut off the bench against Burnley, but don't expect him to start just yet. This is about easing him in. If he settles quickly, he could bring some new edge to Liverpool's attack, especially against tighter defenses. However, the defense still looks vulnerable, and while Isak helps the offensive, the team will need more to truly dominate. Okay, let's zoom in on Liverpool's upcoming matches and where Isak might fit in. First, they face Burnley away on the 14th of September, then a big derby game against Everton at home. Then Crystal Palace on the 20th of September, but in the meantime they also have Champions League against Atletico Madrid, so it will be some intense weeks. Finally, let's talk about Viktor Gyökeres. First of all, Viktor hasn't been known as a global superstar compared to Haaland or Isak, but his rise in recent years has been incredible. After moving to Sporting Lisbon in 2023, he has turned into one of the most complete forwards in Europe. Gyokeres is powerful, direct and relentless, the kind of player defenders hate to face because he never stops running and pressing. In Portugal last season, Viktor was on another level. He scored 54 goals and added 13 assists across all competitions. That's more than 1 goal contribution per game. And unlike Haaland, he doesn't just wait in the box. He dribbles, he carries the ball forward and he wins duels. Statistically, he presses and defends more than both Haaland and Isak, which makes him a complete modern striker. Arsenal's season has started strongly, unbeaten after 3 games, and Gyokeres has made an instant impact. On the pitch you can see exactly how he plays, constantly pressing defenders, chasing lost balls and using his strength to hold up play. He makes powerful runs into the box, often starting from deeper position, and he carries the ball forward more than most strikers. It's not just about finishing, it's about his work rate, his ability to win duels and the way he drives Arsenal's attack higher up the pitch. Arsenal have big upcoming games. First they face Manchester City at home, then Newcastle and West Ham away, and in the meantime they also have EFL Cup and Champions League, so this will be a massive test for Viktor. Can he bully defenders like he did in Portugal? Can he score against Manchester City's world-class defenders? If he can, then Arsenal might have the striker to push them over in line in the title race. Now let's put these 3 strikers side by side and really compare their qualities. Erling Haaland scored 22 goals in 31 games with 3 assists. His goal contribution per 90 is slightly lower than the others, but he takes the most shots. Even though his conversion rate is just under 20%, his volume guarantees goals. AlexanderIsak scored 23 in 34 games with 6 assists. His conversion rate is higher at around 29% and he adds more dribbles and ball carries. He's not only scoring goals, he's more involved in the build-up and compared to Haaland. Then you have Viktor Gyökeres. In Portugal he exploded with 39 goals in 33 games and 8 assists. His numbers are huge and over 1 goal contribution per game, but what stands out is his play style. Far more dribbles and progressive carries than the others, plus constant pressing. He's the most all-around of the 3. The only thing different here is that these stats are from the Portuguese league, where Haaland and Isak have done this in the toughest league in the world. If we take a look at Haaland versus Gyokeres in the Premier League so far, Haaland in blue dominates when it comes to pure goals. No surprise, he's the most lethal finisher in Europe. He's also very high in the overall offensive index, showing how clinical he is in front of the goal. But look at Gyokeres in yellow. He's not only scoring goals, he's winning far more ground duels and recovering the ball much higher up on the pitch. That shows his pressing and work rate, something Haaland doesn't really offer. On assist, neither of them stands out massively here, but Gyokeres' shape shows he contributes across more areas while Haaland is laser focused on finishing. Overall, we have 3 insane strikers, Both Haaland and Isak is only 25 years of age, where Gyokeres is 27. They all create a lot of goals even though they have 3 different play styles. The real question is if Gyokeres can follow up in the Premier League. Will Isak adapt in the new Liverpool squad? And is Haaland able to keep up without the world-class assist makers around him? Who will get out of the season with most impact and most trophies at their hands? Let me know what you think in the comment. Anyways, if you like these kind of breakdowns where we talk football, give it a like and subscribe and join the football community. Thank you guys for watching. Vi ses.